Hey there, Patriots. Welcome back to the front lines. Death Watch here to give you guys more intel so you can update your personal armory and fight back against the fake news media machine. And today we're going to be discussing this young boy named Jaden, who is 12 years old. He was kicked out of class in Colorado Springs for having gasp, a Gaston flag patch, right? For those of you who don't know what the Gaston flag patch is, it is the famous Don't Tread on Me patch, right? A lot of people love to wear it. A lot of libertarians, a lot of conservatives like to wear this patch because, hey, I mean, it's based off the Revolutionary War, right? Gaston intended his flag as a warning to Britain not to violate the liberties of his American subjects, right? This flag is still worn and waved proudly by many libertarians and conservatives for saying, hey, don't tread on us, right? You know, is a reminder to the American government, right? That, hey, or to any, really to any government, right? That, hey, you are treading on us, right? Dude, if the American people, see that you are essentially becoming a tyrannical force against us, what does a tyrannical force mean? Well, it means that any governing body that is again violating the liberties of his American subjects, right? We will then, push back. Simple as that, right? The rattlesnake was a symbol of the unity of the 13 colonies at the start of the Revolutionary War. The flag has been described as the most popular symbol of the American Revolution. The design proclaims an assertive warning of vigilance and willingness to act in self-defense against coercion. The flag is associated with the ideas of individualism and liberty, right? And to this woman right here, no, no, no. You can't have that flag. How dare you, right? Because it is a flag that associates itself with slavery, right? We've all heard this before, right? If you're not familiar with this incident, the Betsy Ross flag, right, was the first ever American flag. Nike decided that, hey, we're gonna put the Betsy Ross flag on our shoes, right? I think it was for what was it? I think it was like what, a Fourth of July. They had both the American flag and the Betsy Ross flag. They were supposed to release it. However, the Betsy Ross flag got pulled because Colin Kaepernick, the famous grifter, right, the cry bully, right, cry racist, he decided, oh no, the Betsy Ross flag is a flag that symbolizes racism and slavery, right? Where does all this craziness come from? Well, because these people only want to associate America with slavery, despite the fact that form of human trafficking was in existence for years, right? Africa practiced slavery and the Middle East practiced slavery, right? Go back and look at the Bible, right? Why did Moses, right? I love to ask people this. Why did Moses go to Egypt? Let my people go free. Who was he referring to? The Jews. Who was he telling this to? The Egyptians, right? Let my people go. Okay, slavery has been something that has happened for eons, right? Throughout numerous empires, okay? So this whole idea is that simply these people are communists. It's simple as that. These people who are the new teachers, the new academics in colleges, wherever, they all are just communists who want to simply destroy America, right? They want to demoralize people. They want to associate America and all its values, all of its symbols, all of its founding fathers, anything with only the negative side of American history, even though this was a negative side of human existence, war, slavery, just straight up, conquering different countries and nations. That is the dark side of every nation, every empire throughout human history. That is a fact of humanity. Okay, but they only want to associate all this negativity with America because they hate America. They want to destroy America because they want their own progressive socialist utopia. But America in flags like this, right? Flags like the Gaston flag, where conservatives openly sit down and say, "Hey, you commies, if you tread on us, we will fight back." They don't like that. That's why they want to associate people who wave these type of flags with the evil baddies of whatever evil empire that's ever existed throughout human history. They need to destroy these symbols in order to raise up this new generation who will only see symbols like that as evil and negative, and they will say, "Screw it, we will tread on you." Right? This is what Antifa I should have probably pulled up this image before I started this video, but there is, Antifa openly, right, during the Black Lives Matter, riots of 2020, the so-called Summer of Love, right? No, it was straight up riots. Okay, they openly waved the flag that said, "Hey, we will tread on you." Right? They had, I believe it was like the honey badger. Right? They openly said, "No, we will tread on you," or they had like the big boot stomping on you. Okay, so it's clear enough that these people openly acknowledge themselves as tyrants and wanting to destroy America and all of its symbols of liberty and self righteousness. Okay, so let's hop into this video real quick.
Oh, here, go back. Thank you. Do they know what the Gadsden flag is? That it's a historical flag?
So the reason that they do not want the flag, the reason we do not want the flag displayed, is due to its origins with slavery and slave trade. That is what was, that is the reasoning behind why we do not want this displayed.
The Gadsden flag?
The "Don't Tread on Me."
Okay. Which is the Gadsden flag? Okay, so he's, what's gonna happen if he doesn't take it off?
He is able to go. I was actually just telling him, like, I was upset that he was missing so much school. I'm like, so I asked if, can he just take his stuff out of his bag and go back to class? Like, I just want him to go back to class. The bag can't go back if it's got a patch on it, because we can't have that in and around other kids. So that's what I was trying to, and then he said you were close. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with slavery. That's like the Revolutionary War patch that was displayed when they were fighting the British. Like, that's the revolution. Maybe you're thinking of like the...
Right. So I'm going to stop the video there, right? Because one of the key notes that she says is that she wanted him to take off the bag, right? Because she did not want that patch, right? Him waving that patch around the other children, right? Why is that, right? It is clear to anybody, right? When you watch any of the other videos that Libs of TikTok posts, these teachers on TikTok who are far leftist progressives openly say, I display the Black Lives Matter flag. I display the new all-inclusive trans flag, or all these other leftist political flags in my classrooms. Why do they do that? Because they want the children, right? They want children to come in and say, oh, I like that flag. I like that design. I like the colors on that one. What is that flag? Can you tell me, teacher? And then the teacher can do what? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Let me then regurgitate all my leftist progressive bullcrap to you. That's why. Okay. She doesn't want him to, young Jaden here, to wear that patch around all the other kids, because then they might do what? Oh, I want to know what that flag is, right? Hey, Jaden, I like that cool little patch you have in your backpack. What is it, right? Oh, well, it's the Gadsden flag. Oh, I want to know what that stands for, right? What does it mean? Well, Jaden will then sit here and say, oh, well, this is what it means. And guess what? These kids might then say, oh, cool. I think I want to associate myself with that too. I want to look up the Gadsden flag. I might want to then associate myself with people who wave that flag, because if I think it's cool, well, then maybe I want to be a part of this club, this clique, right? Because everybody knows young kids are very impressionable. Everybody wants to fit in, and everybody wants to, feel like they're included, right? And so, it's all bullcrap, right? Because these leftist teachers know full and well. That's why we call them groomers, because they know full and well the things that they display in a classroom to very young, impressionable kids. Kids are going to ask questions, right? Because kids are naturally curious. They're going to want to ask questions. They're going to want to ask and say, I want to know what all this crap is. You're going to sit there and you're going to tell them. And then kids are going to immediately say, oh, well, I like my teacher. My teacher just told me a bunch of cool stuff. I think I want to associate with this so my teacher can like me. Or that if all the other kids in my classroom show an interest in something, maybe I want to show interest in that too, because I don't want to feel excluded. We all know how kids act, because we all at some point were kids. So this is all just a bunch of bull crap at the end of the day. These people are lying to you. They know full and well what the Gadsden flag means. They know full and well what the Betsy Ross flag means. They just hate America, because conservatives overtly like the Betsy Ross flag. They wave that flag. They wave the American flag. They wave the Gaston flag, the Don't Tread on Me flag. They wave, other patches, such as I got another picture with young Jaden here, right? Here he is outside of, I believe this is the teacher's car, right? Look at the type of crap that she has on her, displayed on the back of her car, right? So she's clearly a, climate activist, leftist, okay? But young Jaden over here, he has, the St. Michael Protectors. I actually have this patch as well in my car. This is I got to update my St. Michael's patch, right? Because this one right here is kind of badass, right? You look at my patch on my left sleeve here, on my left breast here, it's all right. I dig it. But, this, me looking at this patch right here, I'm like, dang, I need to upgrade. I need to find me another artist so he can upgrade my jacket here, okay? But no, at the end of the day, they don't like these type of flags because it is more associated with conservatism, libertarian and conservatism, and it comes from the Revolutionary War, right? Symbols of America and its founding values, essentially, right? They don't like that. They don't want to continue pushing that crap. That's why they all go into academia, because they want to teach their progressive bull crap to these kids to then make more like what you call insurgents, right? They want these kids to grow up becoming insurgents for the progressive ideology, so that when they become voting age, they vote for all these type of progressive ideologies, while also demonizing conservatives. Because hey, when they go out and they say, hey, I want to know what a conservative looks like, well, guess what? Conservatives proudly wave these type of patches. So it's kind of like a shock therapy, right? This is really what I keep thinking about, right? When why do they always keep saying, oh, we're just trying to teach kids African American studies, we're just trying to teach kids about the true history of slavery and things like that? No, what they're doing is called shock therapy, right? They want to make sure that you get in your head that every time you see a certain image, a certain banner, a certain phrase, that you will immediately in your head snap, hey, that person's an evil person. I've been told, I've been conditioned for years by these leftist teachers that these people who wave these flags, who say these phrases, who say, anything that is not from the progressive crowd, right? Because again, it's all news speak, right? We don't know what today, the definition of racism is not the same in the leftist space. Everybody knows that the definition of racism is simply anybody who thinks that because of your race, you are better than or less than somebody else of a different race. That is the straight up definition of racism. However, the leftists have created this new phrase that it is actually power plus privilege. Therefore, only white people can be racist, and everybody else, because other races in America don't have any type of institutional power or any power at all. So therefore, they can never be racist. It's like, that makes no sense. That's not a definition. That is some new commie speak that you guys have created and are pushing in academia to, again, shock therapy. Create a bunch of insurgents who, at a snap of the finger, when a simple phrase gets spoken, they know who to associate with. Hey, this is somebody who is part of my tribe, and these are people who are part of the evil tribe. It's as simple as that. Okay. And so what happened to this young kid, right? He apparently, Connor Boyack here says that he apparently, so what rule was he actually breaking according to the director? They say that because the patch refers to drugs, tobacco, alcohol, or weapons, doesn't do any of that, right? It's bullcrap. But however, the school board came out and said, yesterday the student returned with the patch still visible on his backpack. Following the district direction, Vanguard administrators pulled the student aside so that they could speak with his parents in the district. Upon learning of these events today, the Vanguard School Board of Directors called an emergency meeting. From Vanguard's founding, we have proudly supported our Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the ordered liberty that all Americans have enjoyed for almost 250 years. The Vanguard School recognizes the historical significance of the Gaston flag and its place in history. This is an occasion for us to reaffirm our deep commitment to the classical education in support of these American principles. At this time, the Vanguard School Board in the district have informed the student's family that he may attend school with the Gadsden flag patch visible on his backpack. Sincerely, the Vanguard School Board of Directors, right? And here's all their names. So clearly, it was simply that this teacher, right? This teacher was upset that, hey, this patch is clearly associated with conservatives. I don't like it, so therefore I'm going to try to get this kid to remove his patch. And when he decided he's not going to, I'm going to call his parents and try to act like I speak for all the other directors, right? And then what happened? The actual directors came out, were like, "Oh no, we don't disagree with this," right? And mainly it's because a lot of people aren't talking about this. Is the famous court case Tinker versus Desmones? I think that's how you pronounce it. I think it was Desmones. This is a case where a teacher suspended, right? Our teacher got upset, and the school decided to suspend 3 kids who were wearing armbands, right? The armbands were supposed to be in protest of the Vietnam War. Right here it says, you got Christopher, John, and Mary Beth Tinker protested the Vietnam War through wearing armbands to school. In response, the school district suspended the children, and their parents brought suit in federal district court, alleging that their suspension violated the First Amendment to free speech. Okay, the school board, the federal court said, hey, your freedom, kids' freedom of speech does not end at the school gate. So if just because you walk through those school gates, your First Amendment rights does not go away, right? You are allowed to wear, certain type of clothing that might be in protest of something, as long as you are not openly causing, you can't stand up, right? Everybody knows that you can't stand up in the middle of class, say, I'm not going to do my homework. I'm not going to listen to this class because the Vietnam War is going on and I don't like it, right? Sorry, you're disrupting class, right? That's what they openly tried to say about this kid, right? The patch was disruptive to the classroom environment. Sorry, this court case right here, Tinker versus Desmones, has, did the exact same thing, right? They kicked the kids out saying that, hey, wearing these armbands was disruptive to school, right? Sorry, no, it wasn't. They were just wearing the armbands, unless there is a specific rule in the school's, code that says, hey, wearing armbands, you can't, in some schools you can't wear, hoodies over your head. You can't wear hats during school time. You can't wear, you have to wear certain, fitting clothing, right? You can't wear loose clothing, baggy pants. You got to have your pants up, things like that, right? However, if you are allowed to wear a graphic tee, as long as the tee does not have any type of explicit, material on it, you're allowed to wear it, right? Simple as that. Okay, so clearly, this is mainly the reason why the school board was so quick to say, oh, no, we're not going to touch that. That kid is allowed to go back to class, because this opens them up for a huge lawsuit, right? That kid will have his entire college fund paid for if that school board decided to stand with this teacher and to kick him out of class, and then to suspend him for not removing that patch, right? They will have definitely opened themselves up for this historical lawsuit. Simple as that. But, just to end this whole video, it's the same thing that we've been hearing before, right? Teachers openly colluding to, do whatever, do things behind conservatives' backs, right? They don't like people's they don't like people's parents. They don't like these kids' parents because they all, for some reason, believe that they have every right to teach their kids whatever type of ideology that they believe in, right? And it's like, no, you don't. You really don't. If you have a problem with a child, well, then you have to go to their parents with it, right? You have no right as a teacher to kind of sit there and try to teach kids whatever you think you think is necessary and things like that, right? Without getting the parents' approval first. Okay. It's just insanity. It's just insanity all around, because again, these teachers are haters of America. They hate America, right? They want to essentially create more insurgency groups for their weird radical political beliefs, and that's why they're so obsessed with trying to get into academia, because they all know, right? Yuri Bezmenov talked about this, right? That the only way, the most effective way to create and push for a social change in whatever system that you live in is to go to the young. Okay, go to the young and try to get into places of academia or influenced with young people in order to push your ideology to them, because by the time they turn voting age, well then guess what, you've already indoctrinated them. They're going to vote and do things that you want them to do, and therefore by then when the boomer generation and the millennial generation finally grow up and die out, well then guess what, this zoomer generation, the new alpha generation, the generation after that, they're all going to be very far leftist, because all their teachers are far leftist, teaching them all a bunch of progressive nonsense. So when they become the main voting base, well, guess what? They're already voting in the direction that you want them to. It's as simple as that. This whole theory has already been expressed throughout, for years now, right? For decades now. Yuri Bazanov was one of those people, because he used to be a KGB operative who was assigned to do exactly that. And he was like, hey, this is what people are teaching me to do. Let me tell you all guys about it. And so you guys can be hyper aware of it, right? However, leftists, of course, who are all commies, they all believe in communism. They all are like, no, we promise we don't believe in any of that crap. However, again, don't look at what they do. Don't listen to what they say. Look at what they do. Okay, what they do is simply this: infiltrate schools, try to teach kids all this nonsense, and if your kids push back against them, well, then they try to make up some mediocre excuse to try to get them kicked out of class. She said it herself. I don't want him to wear that patch around other kids. Why is that? Because she don't want the other kids to look at his patch and then try to figure out what it is, because that might make them want to adopt that type of ideology as they grow up. And that is, that goes against their progressive beliefs. So guess what? Those kids are not going to be their little operatives when they grow up. Simple as that. So, like always, stay safe, stay sane, be vigilant, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you Patriots on the battlefield.